Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cats from
Don't sound so sad.
2019. I'm not sad. This is my Oscar voice.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
It's
this
just
movie does have quite a few Oscar winners in it. Tom Hooper won a Best Director Oscar for something, The King's Speech, I think.
that's weird because I think this one he was trying to get the other Oscar. You know that one that belongs in the trash?
That's the raspberry, the golden razzie.
Oh.
You think he was
Well,
just trying
that
to
was
win it so he could toss it in the toilet?
Well, it's Cats.
It's boy, this is Cats. It's just, I haven't felt this way about a movie in a long time. Watching this had me bouncing between absolutely befuddled and just chronically disturbed.
Disturbed, confused, just like so many emotions.
I feel like I'm that bit in like a medication ad where it just goes through all the little what do you call it?
Like the side effects?
The side effects. Yeah, like I just have everything. It even gave me diarrhea, whatever.
I have hemorrhoids and cancer now.
I just felt debilitated for most of this movie, and God, it's just it's almost awe-inspiring how weird this movie is. And it basically comes down to god-awful visual effects in just this uncanny valley, which is just so wide, and it just left me so violently disconnected from the movie.
Let's put this into context a little bit. Like I said, Tom Hooper is an Academy Award-winning director. He directed King's Speech. He directed Les Miserables. We got Dame Judi Dench in there, also an Academy Award winner. She's won like fucking 15 BAFTAs. Ian McKellen nominated for a billion things. Like top-tier talent.
I mean, Ian McKellen by himself was in Last Action Hero. You can't top that.
Truth. And I think that Hooper made a mistake whenever he decided to film this entire movie using a Snapchat filter.
Yes. Faces are a real big issue in this movie. It is ridiculous. Eyes are the gateway to the soul. This movie is a gateway to a cat's butthole.
There's a whole lot of weird in this movie.
I'm trying to put it into words. I'm having a tough time because as soon as the movie starts, you just get this blubbery but also odd feeling for the characters, because you have like real people's faces stuck on these CG cats, and then there's like other characters which are kind of like mixed between, like some have makeup on, some have prosthetics, some have just like costumes on.
Yeah, and whenever you get to see the people who are wearing like the, practical effect of a skin-tight cat suit with, maybe one or two little accessories to make them stand out and be identifiable, you're like, okay, that's just clearly a person in a cat leotard or some shit. And then all around them is this CG fucking demon that's pawing at you the entire time. And so your eyes can't decide what they want to look at. And you end up getting this feeling of nausea because you're like, something's wrong. And my brain is telling me something's wrong. And then there's music to it. So it's like you're having a bad fucking trip.
No kidding, for sure. Earlier I said like Sucker Punch was like Zack Snyder's fever dream. Like this is a fucking bad fever dream.
And we found out that Tom Hooper is absolutely a furry now.
Oh, God. If I have to look at Rebel Wilson's crotch one more fucking time.
I'll be honest, even as far as, like, the plot goes, like, I know this is a revered musical theater experience, but as far as the plot of this movie goes, I didn't see that there was a whole lot to it. Did you guys?
I can walk you right through it in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's extremely thin.
Yeah.
Cat thrown out. Cat wants to be member of this other group of cats, kind of parades around with them. They're like, hey, do you want to be the quote-unquote Jellicle cat? And it's like, nah, use the stray cat that you guys kicked out. And they're like, okay, put it in the chandelier, blimp. Movie's over.
Yeah, that cat's dead.
Yeah, I guess the idea is that a jellicle cat is, going to heaven or going to, what's it called? Like heavy something layer, something.
Oh. Oh, so that's like a cat Valhalla? Oh my
Yeah.
god, witness me! Meow!
Oh no. Oh. But yeah,
Jesus.
that's what everybody is striving for. I don't know. I guess all of them are Jellicle cats except for like 2 or 3. You've got the Idris Elba cat, like the bad cat on the block. McCavity is his name, and he's causing all the bad things to happen. And you've got the new girl on the block, this cute little ballerina dancer cat.
Oh, 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 oh.
It's almost like the movie itself knows how fucking awkward it is, because the moment they tried to do some exposition, the absolute moment a character has a conversation with another character, like a new musical number that gives almost no information whatsoever, but even if it did have some like decent information to provide the watcher, it's gross. The movie just looks gross, and you're so taken aback by how uncanny everything is. It's just this weird, soupy, nonsensical feeling you get.
It's like you've got a big cartoony animated mess, and then you've got 5 faces sticking out.
Yes.
Oh my god, this is the Mount Rushmore of awful movies.
It's if the Thing had grown into, this creature that was mostly a cat, but then, you caught it while it had human faces sticking out of it. That's what this is.
It's like that bit in the Thing where they find the dog like half whatever in the stable. Oh, that's disgusting.
Exactly. And then you got to hit it with the flamethrower.
True. Cheating bitch. But yeah, it's so odd to watch a movie and have myself react, not only, I guess, emotionally, but physically. Like, I got up out of my seat multiple times and, like, pointed at the TV like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme, and I just couldn't believe myself.
It's trash! It's trash! Did you guys know that this movie had a budget of $100 million?
Dude,
yeah, that's what T-Swift charges.
Where is, aesthetically, whenever you get to see Idris Elba for the first time, or as Eric put him, Idris Meowba, whenever you got to see him for the first time, I was confused because it's just him standing there in a hat and a fucking full-length fur coat with zero CGI, zero anything that showed that he's a cat. He's just a dude standing there. And I was
he's got the glowing green eyes and like a tail that swings like way too far behind him.
Now, Brady will agree with me, and I think you will too, Chandler, that the cats, the characters that are in costume, in makeup, in the jackets, the coats, the hats, those are the best looking in the entire movie. Well, they just have some character about them. Like, they have some, like, swagger, and they look good. You're not, unintentionally just, like, apprehensive watching them. You're not, just like, oh, I wince, They look good.
I guess, but that's not a very high bar to meet.
But the thing is, well, I get that, but, like, given the rest of the characters in the movie, and also these same characters, once they take those coats and hats off, a bit of a difference.
Oh my God, yes. So, again, going back to Mr. Idris Meowba, whenever he took that coat off, I lost my shit. I was looking at Eric going, what?
True.
What? Because it looks like he was wearing a skin-tight cat suit, but they were like, okay, we need to do something to make it look better. And the guy was like, well, we don't have a lot of time. What can we do? And they took the fucking stylus and just selected the font of smooth and ran it over him. He just looks literally flat, and his face will not stay on his goddamn head. And I know that sounds weird, but as his head moves, his face is trailing behind it, and it's fucking unsettling.
To put that in perspective, if anybody remembers that first trailer for the live-action Aladdin and how everybody lost their shit over how awful Will Smith looked, imagine that for 2 fucking hours.
This is one of the more reasonable depictions, one of the more reasonable costumes in the whole movie. got Idris Elba, in the coat and the hat, whatever. It is what it is. It looks fine. He takes that off, and then suddenly he is stupid, sexy Flanders.
It's like he's
Okay.
wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I can agree. But there's some cool things to this film, in the sense of I did have one genuine laugh at Rebel Wilson, who I know you guys are going to tear into, and I'm right there with you. But she had one, to me, laughable bit, and I don't know if it was hers or the production people, what the fuck ever. She's supposed to be like the kitty cat that jumps up on top of the counter, but it doesn't make it. So she's running full bore and jumps and just like mid sternum smacks into the bottom of the sink and is like, ugh, and fucking cartwheels underneath the sink. Thought that was great.
Yeah, she clotheslines herself for no reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rebel Wilson, I just have to point out her entire existence in this movie is made completely out of non sequiturs. I don't know how much of a bearing she's supposed to have, like maybe like in the play or anything, but in this movie, she basically just exists so the camera can pan off whatever musical number, whatever action's happening, so she can make some kind of puss joke.
Yeah, one of the big things that I have against this, and it may apply to the actual, play also, but all of these songs were pretty much like introductions to characters that we don't find out anything about or care about at the end. And hers is no different, and hers is just like, I'm the big fat British captain, I'm big and fat and British, just like Rebel fucking Wilson is. Like,
yeah, that's her shtick, though. She's the embodiment of that joke. Congratulations, movie. You're more meta than I'm giving you credit for.
But a lot of the other songs are just like that, just introductions to characters that we end up not caring about at all.
No, that's an excellent point, Chan, man. That's something that I didn't really, mostly because I was just aghast, but something I didn't catch on to that you're bringing to light, which is brilliant. Every fucking song is that. It's just, I'm the two twin cats and we tear stuff up. Now we're going to cut to, I'm the cat that sprays catnip in your face. Now I'm the cat that does this thing too. Hey, and then the movie's over and they're all cats. Yes. And because there's no stakes, there's no development, there's no urgency. It's just shit happening that makes no fucking sense.
Like, I think we're supposed to be invested in this new girl, like the Victoria, like, who is supposed to be the main character but has really no personality or anything at all. She's just like wandering around.
She barely has any screen time in the movie whatsoever. Like, this movie just has to knock out these musical numbers and pays no attention to the actual person they're supposed to pay attention to, or Cat.
No, yeah. She's just in the background during the musical numbers. It's like if you went to summer camp and got dropped off, and then there's kids that have been going to that summer camp all year, and you're the new kid, and they're like, hey, go talk to Rum Tum Tugger. He's an okay guy, and then you go meet him, and he's like jerking in his fucking bunk. He's like, They're like, what the fuck? This movie's weird.
That's the Jason Derulo cat? Is that him?
Dude, I don't know who anybody was because they all looked terrifying. I have cat in a hat cat, main cat, fat cat, fridge cat, sad cat, glutton cat, Robert Downey Jr. cat.
Well, I just want to point out the reason why there was a cat in the fridge. It's because he's the cool cat.
Comes out snapping fingers.
Robert Downey Jr. wasn't in this, right?
No, but that one dude looked like Robert Downey Jr. cat. He was just there in the background. He wasn't the magic cat.
All right, not the magic cat. Was he like the ringleader cat kind of guy?
I think so. I think that might be the one.
He had a lot of like FaceTime because I kept going, that looks like kind of a young Robert Downey Jr.
Well, to contextualize why we have all these names for all these cats, it was because we were just trying to like rationalize everything, just like put it into our own perspective, because we were having a hard time just like grasping this movie. It was kind of rough.
You compared this to summer camp. I'm going to compare this to a zoo. It's like a young child going to a zoo for the first time, and it's like, Hey, there's the tiger. He's gonna roar. He's gonna play with that ball. All right, here's the elephant. He's gonna shoot water out of his trunk. You know, look at all of these things that each animal can do. All right, let's go home.
So I thought you were gonna be like, "Hey kids, let's go to the zoo," and they show up and Shamu's just like upside down in the pool.
Well, see, because it's something like that. Instead of being like, "Oh, wasn't that fun? Let's go home," it's, "Oh, wasn't that fun? Which cat's the Jellicle cat?" And then you go, "Wait a minute, what?"
There are a lot of songs in this movie, a lot of musical numbers. And I don't know about you guys, I thought most of them were just generally pretty bad, like maybe executed fine, but
Okay, yeah.
I feel like the numbers in this movie, at some time, maybe late '80s and the '90s or something, like these were very hit. But I feel like they took the play and tried to modernize it as a film and did nothing with the music. Like, there's nothing here.
I will say, like, it seems like most of the lead vocalists that are singing these bits aren't really trying all that well. I think the exception to that is Jennifer Hudson, who in like a really, like, I feel like a lot of other people are taking this movie really tongue-in-cheek, really, like, especially like Rebel Wilson is really just, I don't want to say having fun, just goofing off with it. Jennifer Hudson is like, this is my chance to get an Oscar, or get another Oscar if she already has one. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I think she does.
Yeah, like, this is my chance, and she took it really seriously and performed her vocal stints really well, despite looking like fucking Tina Turner after Ike got to her.
Oh, damn! Just
Dude,
damn!
You're not wrong. They
God.
elongated the lower half of her face, and I was like, she looks like a camel. It was bad. It was bad. And something else that I discussed with Eric was, I get that they're trying to be like, hey, these aren't people, they're cats. But number one, they have fucking people feet, or tennis shoes.
Sometimes.
Or boots. Sometimes they just don't even have feet. Eric will tell you all about that. And they have fucking people hands, okay? She's trying to cry, and they don't let the tears come out of her eyes because I guess cats don't cry, but they put snot coming out of her fucking nose over her top lip. And I was like, why would they do that to this poor fucking girl?
It's like half the time this movie wants to just go like full cat, and the other half is just like, we've made a huge mistake. And so we're like in this middle that just doesn't satisfy anything and just turns into like a big fiasco.
And think about that. This is before we even got the Gandalf cat.
Oh my god, fucking poor Ian McKellen, fucking Catdolf.
Ian McKellen is right.
Oh, look, alright, this is classical actor Magneto, also starring role in Last Action Hero, Ian McKellen. I feel like if I met this man, he would be wonderful. But he doesn't deserve to be in this movie. And he's trying. He's trying, man. He's just full cat.
I called him Gandalf the Grey Cat because he's got a lot of that, like, old man, almost wizardry vibe to him. He's like this old wise thing entity, and there's just nothing good going on around him.
No, it's not. And like him hippity hopping around that stage while all these gross ass cats watch him, I felt like I was part of that audience. I felt like a gross cat watching this poor man try to act his ass off.
Dude, fucking Meownito is up there just working.
Oh yeah.
And the saddest part was, like, I'm looking at Eric while we're watching this, and I got my hand over my mouth because I fucking love this dude. Him and the friendship that he shares with my boy Captain Picard is a thing of beauty, and it makes me happy. And I've followed their work for quite some time, and I'm sitting here watching, and all I can think is, oh my god, he looks like he's about to die. Like,
oh yeah,
he looked fucking atrocious, and I don't know what it was, because I've seen him recently, you know, via the internet, pictures of him, and he looks fine. But in this movie, he looked on death's doorstep. Not like, you know, how he looked as Death in Last Action Hero. But
Yeah. I was like, who was he in Last Action Hero? I don't remember that. Now I do. All right, continue.
I was just watching him try to do this performance, and I don't know. I felt like people were going, "Oh, look, it's Sir Ian McKellen. Wow, he's so talented." And then he's doing his shtick, and it's bad, and it's fucking bad. And everyone's like, "No, that's Sir Ian McKellen. Let him do his thing." When someone should have been like, "Hey, guy, this is bad."
You know what this reminds me of? Somewhat related. Like, you see like a great performer come back and it's just not so great. Kind of reminds me of like after Dick Clark had his stroke and they had him back for another Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest, and he was just like the fright skeleton in the corner.
Oh man, yeah, dude. Fuck, that was rough.
Yeah. After you bring that up, that's exactly what it felt like.
You know what was even rougher than that? Have you guys seen the remake of Rocky Horror Picture Show with fucking Tim Curry in it?
I saw the ad for it. Yeah, like they played the introduction, a bit of it for the ad on Fox, and goodness,
heartbreaking. Like that shouldn't have happened. Like, I love the man, and I'm glad that he got to do that for Rocky Horror. But fuck, like when you get to see that, you're like, man, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Indiana Jones old. It's just weird.
First, I think we need to say Idris Elba, the bad guy of this film. He's got sort of magical powers. He can make other cats disappear. He's the bad guy. He just makes them go up in a puff of smoke, and then they end up on a fucking barge.
He's like the cat version of Thanos. He can just like snap cats out of reality.
Ooh, snap cats. Cats 2, Claw and Order.
I forgot about that one. Dun dun.
Starring not Johnny Depp and Judi Dench's face.
But he does that with Rebel Wilson, the fat orange cat. There's also the fat James Corden cat. There's 2 cats in here that the whole joke is that they're fat.
Yeah, he's just stealing fat cats.
Like, they didn't even try to make it clever, which is kind of disappointing, among other things. Like, the whole fat cat thing could have just had a simple double meaning. Like, he's the rich cat. He's the wealthy cat. He's, the fat cat. Nah, he's just a glutton.
Yeah, that's what they both are. Like, he's like, hey, there's more trash in this trash bin right here. It's easy. You can get to it. Just go for it. And he jumps into the trash can, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking Mario pipe. I'm gonna take you down to level 1-3.
Duke it. Oh, but you know who's waiting on the barge for them? Ray Winstone or whatever the fuck his name is from In Bruges.
Oh, which one was he? I don't remember this.
He was the big guy opposite Colin Farrell.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's in a movie that makes you want to jump off a clock tower.
Damn.
Wait, was that really Brendan Gleeson, or are you just saying shit?
What?
Brendan Gleeson, that wasn't him.
No, like his buddy. Not the guy that was trying to kill Colin Farrell.
Ray Fiennes?
I thought it was.
No, you're an inanimate fucking object. No,
that's Ray Fiennes.
Am I not thinking of the right movie?
Hang on. In Brews. Oh, wait a minute.
Is he not in that? Am I confused?
Oh, that's not him. But it looks fucking exactly like him. Oh, the guy bruised.
Bruised. Well, he's in Sexy Beast and Beowulf.
Who is it that you guys are talking about?
The fellow that was on the boat.
Okay. Oh, he was Mr. French in The Departed. That guy.
Man, it looks just like that fucking dude, though. I'm like looking at the pictures and I'm confused.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, you got the 2 fat cats on the barge. Speaking of fat cats, this one goes out to Rebel Wilson. Yeah, I need another beer. That's all this is.
Do it.
Man. This movie drove this man to drink more.
Yeah. This is from Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company out of Boston, Massachusetts. This is severe tire damage, which I'm wishing upon every cat in this. Severe damage from some tires. It's an 8% ABV New England style IPA. Smells like orange and grapefruit and pineapple and all those normal New England style IPA things. Tastes much the same. Got a lot of like grapefruit rind, orange peel, stuff like that. Not as much mango. Very citrusy. It's fine. It's a New England style IPA. I'm gonna drink the rest of it right now.
So you're telling me that it doesn't taste like roadkill?
Tastes slightly better than Roadkill.
Well, that was a fucking lie.
You were really matter of fact about that review. Like, are you in a hurry to get back that dumpster fire we got burning back there?
I'm in a hurry to inject more alcohol into my brain.
After a while, the faces line up perfectly.
It'll take several more beers for that.
You know, we were discussing a Mario pipe, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a direct reference because it does go down like a pipe, like in Mario, and then suddenly there's a tap dancing cat dressed like Mario.
Okay, so minus the whole movie, that tap dancing bit was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like tap dancing.
And just because, I don't know, I can't do it. That looks pretty cool. Props to that cat.
Which one was that? Was that Jason
Mario
Derulo?
cat.
Was that, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh,
He
that
was
was the railway cat. The one that looks like
Yes.
a fucking
Yes.
gay railroad conductor.
He looked like Mario.
You had the
If
red
Mario
overalls.
was a gay railroad conductor. I mean, he might not have been gay, but he definitely lived in West Hollywood.
Okay.
It's so specific.
So the reason I think I enjoyed this, not only because, hey, tap dancing's fun, but the camera cuts away from everything for a good 20 seconds and just shows you this tap dancing cat's feet. And it's relaxing because you're not looking at nightmare fuel. There's not like someone's face glitching off their body. There's not some kind of weird fucking abnormal shape happening where a leg should be. There's not light reflecting wrong off of a creature. It's just feet tap dancing.
So you're telling me the Railroad River Dance was one of the highlights for you?
It was the highlight for me.
All right.
Right above the jump fail of the fat cat earlier on with Rebel Wilson.
Look, in that moment, we had a brief discussion of how impressive tap dancing was, how Gregory Hines is definitely missed, and in that one little moment, it was pretty good.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. I still have beer left, totally.
Exactly. Jumping around all nimbly pimbly like one of these kitty cats. Idris Elba has been snatching up cats, hide your kids, hide your wives, with his magic dust or what the fuck ever. And all this nonsense has been going on, and the cat's going on a cat tour, and it shows up finally at Taylor Swift Cat. And this is where the budget's at.
You
Oh,
think?
100%. Well, like I brought it up in our little viewing thing about how all of a sudden this particular T-Swift cat looks miles better than everybody else. Like, for some reason, like, all the attention was paid, both literally and figuratively, out of the wallet for this scene.
Now, you get to see Taylor Swift as a cat, which still nightmare fuel. But she is standing there with two backup dancer cats, like left shark, right shark, but they're cats. And there's a spotlight. Exactly, except for it's left cat. And then there's a spotlight above them. And this is where you get like one of the biggest mind fucks too, because you can see that Taylor Swift is standing there clearly on a green screen with these two backup dancers dancing. Then behind her is this nightmare scape of out of focused, or I should say soft focused background, so they didn't have to render everything super good, and some more backup dancer cats, which move fucking unearthly. They are like $10 worth of CG fucking cats back there, and they're scary.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be paying attention to Taylor.
I guess, but the background just felt like I was playing Madden 06 and everybody showed up for the football game. We're all furries.
No, it's fucking NFL Blitz. You just picked a cat mascot.
No.
Man, I do got to say, Taylor Swift as a cat was pretty sexy, though, right? All right.
I want to say yes and agree and be like, yeah, she's a very pretty lady, but as soon as she showed up, the first thing I noticed was, hey, look at how the light is reflecting off of her and the two backup dancers, and how it's not reflecting that way off of everything else. And then I was just stuck in it.
Speaking of light reflecting, what was that one cat that was just shiny for no reason?
Was that the Mr. Mephistopheles, the magic cat, with all his sequins?
I think so, but it wasn't just a sequence. It's just like the way his fur was. They tried to make it like, glisten, like it was like conditioned or something like that. It just made him look like a walking disco ball.
You think that cat has an owner?
They all had collars, where a lot of them did. So I don't know what the fuck was going on here. I mean, Magic Cat, Mr. David Cloverfield, I don't know.
Pretty much all of this was leading up to a choice of the Jellicle Cat that was going to be made by Judi Dench, Old Deuteronomy, which I don't think we've talked about Judi Dench's character yet. She looks kind of like Goldar or the Cowardly Lion.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And she's one of the cats who is dressed in, practical makeup, so it doesn't look awful, and she's wearing this snazzy little coat or whatever, so you can definitely tell like this is pulled directly from the play and everything. It looks like an actual costume, unlike the fucking monstrosities dancing around her.
Until she takes that coat off.
Yeah.
Does she ever?
Yeah, dude, when she's laying in the basket, it's fucking nightmare fuel.
Oh, man. That must have been like when I was eating my burrito, and I was 100% into that burrito.
One thing I'm going to say about Old Deuteronomy, Judi Dench in here, I was fooled for a little while. I was thinking, like, man, Judi Dench is doing a really good job. That's like one more actor that's really putting on, a good job. And then I started to like pay attention, and no, she's not. She's just being Judi Dench. That's just like, she's 100%. Not doing anything unusual or putting forth any special amount of effort. She's just going through the motions and being Judi Dench. So it just comes off as great.
I guess so. I feel like this is one of those times where, like, they use this movie as like a big star vehicle. So they show up and they feel like this is super important. Like, oh, there's Judi Dench and there's Ian McKellen. So the director's like, well, here's your lines. So they're like, well, what do we do? Eat cat.
Do you, boo?
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, her scene. She gets kidnapped by Idris Elba. And they turn to magical Mr. Mephistopheles to bring her back, because no cat's as clever as Mr. Magic Mephistopheles with his ejaculate of playing cards. I don't understand if he honestly brings her back or if she escapes after she's kidnapped, because she doesn't like poof. She just kind of walks in the back door.
It's like, hey, you did it.
And starts singing.
Yeah.
And man, she starts singing, and it's kind of cute. It's kind of soft. It kind of works. And then she walks to the front of the stage and makes direct eye contact with you as the viewer.
Dude.
Yeah.
And starts to speak. And it's uncomfortable.
She definitely comes off as a character who realized she stumbled upon the end of the movie and then just starts belting the song and tries to appeal to the audience by breaking the fourth wall. I'm just like, are my heartstrings supposed to be pulled? Am I supposed to care about these people? Is that cat going to survive in that balloon? All these questions and more at 11.
Yeah, so what happens is during this sort of final scene, I guess it's a final scene. I don't know.
They stretch it out long enough to where you have to question yourself.
They do. It's like fucking Return of the King or something. Judi Dench, Old Deuteronomy, the, I guess, old leader, whatever, finally chooses who the new Jellicle Cat is. It's the new girl who hasn't done shit. She's just, like, new and pretty. So, of course, you are the Jellicle Cat. And then she's like, no, come listen to this fucking homeless cat sing.
You're Jellicle choice number 1, first place, A+.
Yeah.
You win.
And
get in the chandelier.
I still can't get over how dirty they did Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson is a good-looking woman, but they did her up like fucking Charlize Theron in Monster.
Oh, Christ. That's rough, but also 100% correct. Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely one of the poor people in this movie where the amount of face that they used was extremely minimal.
Not
so
enough.
it's like they cut out as much as possible to like blend into the CGI cat body, and it's fucking disgusting. It's so... I keep bringing up Uncanny Valley, but God, the valley is so wide, I can't get around it.
Yeah, so she sings, and they're like, you know what? We choose you. Get on this balloon. We're going to send you up into the heavens, never to be seen again. You're fucking dead, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding. Just like,
She's up
sayonara.
I'd like to come down, meow. And just like floating away, and then there's a little twing! Team Rocket blasting off again.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like one of those things where it like floats off into the distance, goes through the clouds, and a plane just goes by, just, and that's just the end of the movie.
Oh, just wham!
Yeah, just it's over. Don't worry about it. They just cut to black. Da, 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 da.
Okay, I'm getting. You mentioned Team Rocket. Now I'm getting like sort of parallels. Idris Elba is definitely Giovanni. You got the two cat burglars. That's Jesse and James for sure.
Yeah.
Sprinkling their magic fucking cat all over the place.
Okay, which one's Meowth?
Meowth is all of them. There's a little bit, like if you took all the faces from all the actors and smushed it into one, that's Meowth.
Oh no.
Well, hold on. First, before we get to the fucking final thoughts, the volume changes in this movie are ridiculous. Can we agree? Did you all experience that?
I didn't notice that. The only thing that I did notice is that I had to like have the movie turned up early on just so I could pay attention. That's about it.
Yeah, to me, aside from the volume, I didn't really catch that, but I did fucking almost start taking a tally of how many quick cuts they had. Because holy shit, it's just like one scene for 1 second, then another scene for another second, and it's just flashing these images at you because they don't want to leave anything on the screen for you to look at too long because it shouldn't be seen.
This whole movie should not be seen.
No. Please spread this out as much as possible. This needs to be an experience. This has to be like a lesson to all those kids out there that want to make movies or something or any kind of art. This is a fucking lesson.
At the end of it, I came to the conclusion that I watched an hour and 48 minutes of bad computer graphics, floating faces, and heard a soundtrack that fucking grated my ears. The movie was a mess. I found very little to appreciate. Some things were okay in the sense of I can look at it and go, that must have been fun to play on a gigantic oversized chair. But, you know, David Arquette has one of those, so fucking who cares? The most fun I had in this film was looking over at Eric and then discussing that Taylor Swift was secretly played by Russell Crowe, who stuffed himself into that suit and then went to his trailer after every shoot, unzipped, and ate SpaghettiOs and Franks.
As far as I'm concerned, I think Jennifer Hudson, every time she was singing, did great. I think everyone else was okay, passable as far as their vocal talents. The musical numbers, I didn't care about at all. They were all introduction. The CGI, I can't say enough that the CGI was abhorrible. Like, $100 million and they can't get... Like, if you can't do it, fucking tone that shit back. Do some practical costumes. Don't fucking do that. Taylor Swift was in the film for way too short of a time. I love Tay-Tay, although her song didn't really fit with the rest of the movie. That's fine because nothing fit with this movie. Don't fucking see it unless you are very high.
Pretty well said. But considering the entire package that this movie is, I feel like what we just witnessed was one of the most insanely idiotic things that we have ever seen. At no point during its rambling, incoherent plot was even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this movie and watching this show is now dumber for having watched it. I award this movie no points and God have mercy on our souls.
I agree.
applaud.
Yep.
And that was Cats from 2019. If you have any strong feelings about the show or the movie alone, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to hit that little bell icon so you know next time we've got another one brewing.
Get out there and follow us on all of our different social media accounts. We got a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, and a Reddit. We got a great administrator constantly pumping out new nightmare fuel for you. And if you don't get out there and listen to what we're doing, we're going to take the cat box from the entire cast and crew of Cats and put you in it.
Do it, booger lips.
Nice.